Good evening. Now let's start our talk show episode 70. The only things that stand between you and your dream is the will to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote by Joel Brown. So with this quote, I would like to bring our talk show named Conversation with Consultants with episode 70 of our guest talk series. Good evening everyone. I am Rima Kumari, ECR coordinator of SKNG, and I am your host for today's talk show. Before we begin our talk show, let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSME Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting service to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, strategic, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bringing their dreams to life and contribute to global economics growth. Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transforms lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, and network they need to succeed. Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Chijioke Nnanna Ibeku, Principal Partner of 3CS Mediator, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today, and we are delighted to have you here in this talk show to share your insight with us. We would like to start this interview with our first question for you. What motivates you to start your own business?
All right. Thank you for having me. It's indeed a privilege to be on your platform. Thank you. I'm humbled. And like I told you when you got across to carve a niche for yourself, you begin to take into consideration your strengths and your weaknesses. And when I had assessed all this and known that it's time for me to work within my strengths and not be open with my weaknesses, which other people might not want to stand or might not understand, I decided to go out on my own. And of course, as a young lawyer, trying to put your hands here and there and not yet finding your feet or your rhythm. My wife said, look, why don't you try and harp on your strengths? You've been in property. I had a strong bias for the real estate sector as a younger lawyer. Why don't you try and harp on that strength? Write your book on your write books on them, since you know a lot about that. So that's how I started. I harnessed my strengths. I downplayed my weakness and built more on my strengths. That's in a nutshell. That's how I started. Thank you very much.
Nice. Moving ahead, your next question is, what's the biggest challenges you have faced so far?
Mm, it's about funding money. Money is one of the biggest challenges because at times, um, when you're in a dream, when you're pursuing your vision, your dream, it's not always put together. And as a married man, as you have your responsibilities, you have your wife, you have your children, you have people that depend on you, you have people you also want to help. But it's not always always one plus one. One plus one is not always two for a man that wants to carve a niche for himself in your own space. It's not an easy ride. It's been very, very tough. But I thank God because I have a strong belief in him. So what has been the challenge really is funding, and people not a lot of people want to stake out whatever they have with you at the beginning. People just wait for when it's well done, when everything is put together. It's very rare. Not even your family members, not even the ones that are from the same mother with you, or even your parents, not even your wife at times. But thank God for mine, she understood and she tried to cover up the spaces. So it's about funding. It's money. Money is the biggest challenge for you to fund any institution, to run and to grow.
It sounds good. Your next question is, how do you define success for your startup?
Well, for me, initially, I wanted to start defining success by the amount of money in my bank accounts, um, the amount of money in my bank accounts, the things I could be able to achieve. But I've come to realize, yes, the money is good. It's good to have that bank account, but it's also good to have a legacy. I think the name speaks volumes. So I've come to reassess myself. Don't get me wrong, money is very good. It's necessary to attain it, but I've come to realize that success is not always about money. It's about impact. It's about impact. In fact, yesterday in faraway Spain, I don't even know when I'm going to visit Spain. I don't even know when I'll visit that part. I don't even know whether I'll meet those people that gave me that award in my lifetime. But my name has gotten up beyond the shores of Nigeria, to a place in Spain, in Madrid. So it's not about the money always. It's also about the impact. And that's what I've come to realize, that it's not always about money. Impact is necessary. Then if you're lucky to have both of them, then you're blessed.
Yeah, nice. Next question is, what's your biggest fear as a first-time founder?
Wow. My biggest fear is to fail. To fail, not to see what I have worked all my life for. Just fritter away. That's my biggest fear. For it not to be a continuum. So within my best efforts of my as a human being, I'll try to get my children involved in what I do. Particularly my son, that is a law graduate, is a law student. I beg your pardon. I've intentionally, taking the children to even run courses at the institute, so they will know what I'm doing. So for the boy that is in the university studying law, he's also very open to mediation. I'm hoping that my fear, how can this thing continue years after, when I'm long gone by the grace of God, in my very old age, how will it continue? That this young man that I've placed my trust in will carry it on. So that's my biggest fear is failure, and for what I work for not to continue. But luckily, like I told you earlier, I've gotten all my children to understand what I'm doing. So they can all of them know what I'm doing. They have an idea. So I've addressed within my best effort as a human being, I've addressed that part of that, what I'm doing, continuing, because my children know what I'm doing. So I believe they will know when I'm longer than old age, by the grace of God, they will know how to continue. So the other one is about failure. I've tried within my best efforts not to pay too much attention to failure. Failure is when you're down and you remain down. If you're down, if things are not working up, and I've never believed in failure. I've never believed in giving up. I might be sad that I'm disappointed over something, that something didn't work my way. I might be disillusioned. I might be annoyed. Maybe you promised to give me a training, a brief to do something, and it might not work out. I might be sad like a normal human being, but I'll always be expectant. I'll always know that another door will open. So for me, failure as a human being is scary, but I refuse to fail. So that's basically, I know it's there. I acknowledge it, but I also have a way to say no. I'll keep trudging until the very end.
Nice. Your next question is, what's the most important things you have learned so far?
The most important thing I've learned so far is that when you're in a race of building an institution, you're on your own. When you're building something, human beings it's very difficult to have human beings come around you when you're building. It's only when you're at the point of success that they can come around you. So for me, I've learned just be the best you can. Don't expect any help. Don't be disappointed. If somebody promises and doesn't come true for you, don't be disappointed. Just keep in yourself, keep believing. And if you're a firm believer in God, keep your firm belief in God, knowing that, yes, it will eventually work out. Don't be expectant of anything any human being promises you. If a human being promises, you take it as okay, has said he or she said they will do. If they don't do, don't bother yourself about it. Just keep looking forward, never look backwards. That's what I've come to realize in over 20-something years I've worked.
It sounds good. Your next question is, how do you validate your business idea?
Well, how I validate my business idea. Like I said, I pray over my business. I don't know how much I ask God because I don't believe in human beings really. Because I don't believe so much in human beings being the people you can validate your ideas with. Because you might want to validate the idea and the person will steal it from you and pretend that he or she is the original owner of that idea. Human beings can be that treacherous. So I pray number one to God. If I'm so confused about some things, I could sample my wife's opinion. Although most times both of us don't agree because she has a different ideology on how she does her things. I have my own ideology. She's a very detailed person. Me, I'm detailed, but I don't wait for my things to be put together. So she might not understand that because she wants everything to be well put together, but I don't wait for my things to be well put together. So there's always a disconnect. So the person I really validate my ideas with, if I have to, is my wife. Apart from that, God. But I don't validate my ideas with friends. I don't do that because I'm not even sure they will give me what I want or they will not even hijack the idea. So I'm safe with validating my ideas only with my wife, really, honestly speaking.
It sounds good. Your next question is, what's your go-to strategy for marketing?
Wow. For me, and that's one of my weaknesses. Marketing is one of my weaknesses. I'm not so technically savvy. So if I was technically savvy, maybe very good with the IT world and everything, I'm sure I'll have done much better than I'm doing now. I'm not very technically savvy. Um, and incidentally, the people around me, maybe the young boys, my children who are younger, when you want to put pressure on them to do some of these things for you, they either say, "Oh, Daddy, you're disturbing me a lot," so it becomes a problem. So that's been my hindrance. I'm not too technically savvy. So what I do really, but I like writing. I write a lot. So I intend to explore the social media space for what I cannot cover up through technology more like. I cover up more with writing on the social media, on LinkedIn, on every app that is on social media. But marketing really, because of the technology associated with it, is my weak point because I'm not too technically savvy. I must admit that.
Nice. So next question is, how do you manage your time effectively?
Well, my time effectively. I used to be too disturbed about meeting timelines. You understand? Yes, it's good to meet timelines, but I've come to realize that too much of everything is not good because as a much older man, I have what I do basically. What I can do, I do. What I can do, I try to do. What I have tried to do and I cannot do, I let go. But if it were many years ago, I'll keep pursuing it until I do it. And I've come to realize that it's really very futile. It's really not necessary. So what I do is those things that I can do and I pursue, and I'm seeing that yes, it's what I'm wanting to reach out to. Wants me to reach out to it exactly, I pursue it. But if I try to reach out to something and the thing wants to be evasive, and I've given it my best, I don't go further. Some people might say it's chicken out, but I think it's a safe space for me from because of what people now call mental health. So I try to work within my space.
Okay. So, sir, what's the biggest misconceptions about being a founder?
I didn't hear you. Sorry. I didn't hear that question. Sorry. It was all.
What's the biggest
No, Rina, sorry, I didn't
misconception?
hear you. Could you repeat it? Could you
Yeah,
repeat
yeah,
the
sure.
question? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Okay. What's the biggest misconception uh, about being a founder?
Yeah, the biggest misconception people have about, they think you have so much money. Once they hear you're a founder of something that, and at a distance, they think you own so much, you have a lot of money. So they feel that the world is at your beck and call. But that's a very big misconception. It's not like that always. It's about, for me, it's about, as for young entrepreneurs that are listening to me, because of the, because of the, what word will I use? Because of the unsteady space in the business climate. What I advise young entrepreneurs to do, because you will always make one break. You have the opportunity to make one break, one good business break. When those breaks come, make the best use of it. If you're going to invest with the money, invest with it. If you're going to save it, save it. If you're going to do anything, do with it, because those breaks might not come consecutively. It might not even come in a long while. So when you make those investments, people might think, okay, that you've really made a lot of money, because yes, you've secured yourself. You've made yourself comfortable. You're not going to beg anybody because those breaks have come. But do not just say, okay, it will keep coming, and you keep frittering away those opportunities, because you might eventually become very frustrated. So the misconception at times people have is that, oh, because he's the founder of this, he has money from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So that's the wrong misconception. Yes, I might have some good investments that if I'm pressed and I sell, I'll make my money, but I might not have the liquid cash at that moment. So that's the misconception people have. Thank you.
Okay. Your next question is, how do you build a strong team?
Well, I build a strong team. For me, I like to be a very detailed person. I do. If I see a superior logic, if I see somebody that has superior logic to what I have, I give in. But if you don't have a superior logic, what I detest most is when somebody does not know what he's saying, he or she is saying, and trying to force it down my throat. I get upset, really, because for me to have shared an opinion with you means I have an idea of it. But once I notice you have, whether you're a child, or once I notice you're saying something that is superior to what I'm saying, I'll automatically give in. And if you politely put it across to me, I'll give in. But if you want to rub it down my neck, even though it's superior, I might challenge it a little bit by want of, the academic exercise involved in it. But basically, if I see superior knowledge, I allow. So that's how I build people. I give people look, let me hear your opinion. And if it's superior to mine, I give in. But you must make sure that it's really superior to mine.
Nice. Your next question is, what's your approach to fundraising?
Pardon? I didn't hear you, sorry.
What's your approach to fundraising?
Ah, that's another weak point of mine, fundraising. Because for all the work we have been doing, if I was very good at it, all the good work we've been doing, I'll have raised a lot of money by now. I've not been, that's my another weak point of, I've not gotten the hands-on around it. I've not gotten that grasp, that needed grasp, that good knowledge about it. So that's, I'm totally flat on that, really. And the people I've hoped on have not really delivered on it. Because the much I do is, like I tell you, I like writing a lot. So the much I do is to write and hope that they reply, follow up the much I can follow up. But I'm sure there's something extra I'm not doing. Or if I was doing, I'm not doing well. So it's my weak point, really. That fundraising part is what I've not really gotten a grasp around. I've not had a hands-on it.
Okay, nice. Moving ahead, your next question is, how do you handle failure or setback?
How do I handle, Rina, what did you say? How do I what?
How do how do you handle failure or setbacks? How do you handle failure
That's my
or setbacks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't allow it to. I don't allow it to. I don't allow it to bother me. I have this ideology: if one door closes, another opens. So if I fail at something today, I believe I'll succeed at something tomorrow. Yes, as a normal human being, I could be affected presently now, but I won't allow it to weigh me down completely. I just keep forging on. I believe that even if there are a lot of steps, a lot of bumps, just keep moving on. Don't let one slow you down. That's been my ideology for life. And thus far, I've not fared too badly.
Okay, nice. Your next question is, what's the biggest advice you have received so far?
The biggest advice I've received so far. Oh, can I have your hands on that? Who has advised me? Uh, well, I don't know. The biggest advice, people come with their advices, at times they don't know whether it's for their own selfish use or for their own selfish purposes or for the interest. I can't really pinpoint, but some people come with good ideas, but when they give, okay, like for instance, I know that my wife had come up with an idea that we should try and have our name more, the name of my firm more international. But I know the bureaucracies of the system in Nigeria won't let it work. And I wouldn't want to exert myself to something I know that's going to be, a stumbling block. So some people, have some good advice come, but the issue is what is the practicability? How do you bring that into to reality? You can have you can have something you can have something abstract that you hope to bring to reality, but it just can't connect because the reality is that it's not that very easy. And at times like this, when you've done a lot, when you've worked for so many years, there's some pressure you don't want to undergo again. So that's what I'm just saying, basically. There's some things you like to avoid. Eventually it might be good for you, but because you might not have the presence of mind to go the full haul again, having gone through it many years as a much younger person, you might not have the presence of mind to overgo it again. So at times you might just say, let it go, let me just stay at this straight space where I am and pray for the best from it. It might be a disadvantage, it might not also be so, but this is my honest. I'm giving you, like you said, I should tell you honestly. So I'm giving you an honest answer.
Yeah, it sounds good. Your next question is, how do you stay organized and focused?
How do I do what? How do I do what, Rena?
How do you stay organized and focused?
Well, how I stay organized and focused is that I know that if I don't, I'll be out of. If I don't, I'll be frustrated. So for the fear of being frustrated, or for the fear of not having an establishment, for the fear of not putting things around me together, the much I can as to within my best human efforts, I try to as much as possible have my things put together. Yes, there might be some little gaps. But like I told you initially, I'm not one that waits for everything to be together. I'm not one to wait for everything to be well organized. You understand? I believe in moving through those blocks, those stumbling blocks, those. And then as you grow, you begin to tidy up those things around you that might appear like stumbling blocks. So for me, it just is a mindset thing. I try as much as possible to do the one I can do. What I can't do after trying it so much, I let it go. Try again. If you can't, I let go again. Then I just keep turning up and making sure that the establishment one is pursuing doesn't fritter away after so much effort. So that's what keeps me organized and focused. So that what I've been trying to establish doesn't fritter away, God forbid.
Nice. Skipping ahead, your next question is, what's the most challenging part of your job?
The most challenging part of my job is when you need money to do things and you're not seeing the money. Because we have so many initiatives we are running now, but we just don't have the cash to pursue it. So there are a lot of initiatives we have. We have gotten the ideas, all the letters are ready, all the contacts have been made, but they need funding to achieve all those things. And yes, the money could come, but you have other bills to attend to. And you can't say, okay, let me just dedicate all the fundings to the bill to this dream. What about the bills you have to meet as a family man? So it's very challenging. So it's the money that is the problem. It's when you want to do something, you can't access the money you really need. It becomes a problem, becomes a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, your next question is, how do you measure success in the early stages?
Pardon? I didn't hear you.
Yeah. How do you measure success in the early stages?
Okay, I measure success in early stages is like the impact I've made. I watch the impact. So once I see an impact, I know that I'm doing something good. Like I've given you the instance of the award I received yesterday in Spain. I couldn't go there, but at least I know that what we're doing is being recognized beyond the shores of Africa, into the world of Latin America. So it's the impact one is making. You can measure your success. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I measure success with respect to what I do. The impact we make, not only within our country, but beyond our shores.
Okay. Nice. Your next question is, what's your strategy for customer acquisition?
What's my what? Sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry. Could you call me again, please?
Yeah, yeah, sure. What's your strategy for customer acquisition?
Oh, my strategy for customer acquisition. Well, try and what I do basically is just be plain. Just tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're doing. Be at their front. Let them know what you're doing. Um, yes, you have to be a bit, because some human beings have a way of stealing people's ideas. So you could have a way of fashioning what you're doing without really saying what you're doing, so you can still generate that interest. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So just try as much as possible without putting yourself at the danger of losing your vision. Put it out there so that people can be interested in what you're doing.
Nice. Your next question is, what's the biggest risk you have taken so far?
Ah, the biggest risk I've taken so far. The biggest risk I've taken so far is trying to get some things done, some things that need to be done with money that one will have held on to. Money, maybe you set aside money for a particular project. It's okay. Let me take this money for this project and do this. Maybe plus or minus, I might get it back. It doesn't eventually come back. You're at a loss, and you now have to run into debt. But that's the biggest. It's a very challenging, tough being a founder of an organization. But I think what is very paramount is to know how to keep turning up, how to keep trudging on, never to give up. Because if you're out completely. But if you keep turning up, who knows? One day, the heavens could just smile on you.
Great. Your next question is, how do you build a strong network?
Well, how I build a strong, I'm very active on the social media space. I'm very, very active. Like I said, I write a lot. So by the time I write, I'm sure people will be interested in what I'm writing. So when people read what I write, they will have no other choice but to get across to me. So that's how I've managed to build this network I have. And thank God, because like I said, I have a very good way of writing. I have a convincing way of writing. So once I put across my thoughts, people buy into what I'm saying, and of course, it's a God's grace to on my life. Then people buy what I'm saying, and they get interested in what I'm doing, and I begin to build my network, and that's how my network has been built over how many years.
Nice. Your next question is, what's your approach to product development?
What's my approach to what?
What's your approach to product development?
Product development. My approach to product development is be very plain about what you're doing. Let people know this is what this is all about. You understand? You can also let people know what. I won't want to say. I want to say the disadvantages, because if you say the people run away, but let people know that it's not a very perfect thing, so that in case something crops up on it tomorrow, they don't say you don't have integrity. You understand? Be very wise about it. Know how to tell people this is a very good product, but like every other thing human, you might not particularly mention it, but that something could go wrong. So the person will, already know there's a caveat ahead of time. But let the strength of that product be at the zenith. Manage, present the weakness very discreetly and wisely. So at the end, whatever turns out, people don't say, oh, you're not a sincere person. They'll all know it's business. They'll know that, yes, you expressed, you knew, like every other human being, wasn't a perfect talk. There could be a disconnect somewhere. But don't tap on the disconnect. Just play on the strength, discreetly talk about the disconnect, and wisely, and your product will go safely. Harp more on the strength of your product, or harp most on the strength of your product.
Okay. Moving ahead, your next question is, what's the most important skill for a founder to have?
The most what?
What What's the most important skill for a founder to have?
They never giving up spirits. If it has to be a skill, turn that to a skill. Never giving up. Patience. And never. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if it will not be a skill, but like I say, turn it to a skill. Never allow yourself to be disappointed by human beings, because they're always disappointing. So find a way never to allow it to affect you as a founder. You understand? Always believe that if you're reaching out to somebody, already build in your mind that it will work, it might not work. If it doesn't work, what do I do next? If it works, how do I continue? So don't just be, some people just, when they just tell them no, they are broken forever. So have it, have a shield, a buffer, so that you don't get hurt when what you're expecting doesn't always come past. Once you have that as a founder, you hardly be so disappointed.
That sounds good. Moving ahead, your next question is, how do you balance work and personal life?
My personal life, work for me is good, but I don't allow it to ever come to my personal life. I don't see what can make me work on Sunday. I don't see the work that will make me work on Saturday. I'd rather shift the work for my family time on those days. The family comes first. I try as much as possible. The family comes first. The work can come later on. The family is the primary. For me, the family is the primary base, is number one. So anything that has to counter the family, if I have to also give work priority, I have to tell my family to buy into what I'm doing. I have to do this at this urgent time, but I don't make it a regular. And I try to make, disconnect for some time and make sure that the family has that ultimate time.
Nice. Your next question is, what's your strategy for scaling your business?
Wow. Well, like strategy for scaling my business, I don't take more than I can chew. Some people say it's not wise as a founder. You will never grow beyond. You need to have the ability to take risks. That could be safe for them. But me, I work within calculable, what's the word? Okay, calculated risks. I don't take more than I can chew. I work within what if anything goes wrong, I can manage myself around. I just don't work something that if it goes wrong, I'll be totally lost. I don't know how to manage that. Some people have the presence of mind, the tenacity to go beyond that level. But for me, my own little space, I calculate my risks. So whatever that happens within my calculated risks, I know how to manage it. I don't go beyond, no matter whatever good things going beyond my risks, that calculated, I won't want to go near it. Some people say it's not a good way of doing business. For me, but for me, it's a safe space for me. Within that, my calculated risks. So that's what I do.
Yeah. Moving ahead, your next question is, what's the biggest lesson you have learned from your mistakes? What's the biggest lesson you have learned from your mistakes?
Oh, my mistakes. I think when you have the opportunity to excel, when you have the opportunity to make the best, don't miss out on it. When you have an opportunity to make the best of any moment, don't miss out on it. Maximize that opportunity because it might never come again. Only if it comes again, you might never have the same after effects as the one you made a mistake in. So I've tried to say, if I have an opportunity, something comes my way, I try to make the very best of it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Um, your next question is, how do you build a strong brand identity?
Well, I build a very strong one. It's to give my best. It's to give my best what I do. I remember in 2020, during the peak of COVID, I was walking around the clock. And I think that's when I even became hypertensive. I was walking around the clock. During the peak of COVID, I was walking around the clock because I knew that I had to volunteer. And that's when I wrote my books. That's when I became that's why I'm sure you're reaching out to me today, because I took them. So just give your very best. I might not have that strength as I had. I might not, is it strength now? I might not have that presence of mind to walk that way I walked in 20. To do it a bit more, I try to find a way around it to manage. So I think just give your best. And once you give your best, that one opportunity could be what can be sustaining you till you get to another opportunity that will come your way. So that's it for me.
Okay. Your next question is, how do you stay up to date with industry trends?
I do a lot of research. Thank God for ChatGPT and the rest. And I do a lot of research. I try to have other opinions about what I'm doing. You know, I might not ask you directly. I could just do research, maybe go on ChatGPT, go on Google, read what other people are saying about what I'm doing. And plus or minus, I form an opinion. And I try to be, that's how I try to maintain the trend. How I try to be current, not to be lost out. So that's what I do.
Okay. How how would you define yourself as a leader?
Well, myself as a leader, the definition of myself as a leader and what has kept me going, like I keep saying and saying, I never give up. I never accept no for an answer. I never allow a closed door close me out. I must find another way to open that door. I might be disappointed that that door did not open when I wanted it to open, but I just keep trudging on. I never give up. I might not even appear like someone that doesn't give up, but deep down me, I never give up. I'll always find a way around that particular problem. I might not react the moment you want me to react, but that moment you think I'm not reacting is the moment I'm strategizing on how to move, take the next step. It might take some time, but whenever I launch out, it will have some meaning. So that's what I normally do.
Nice. The next question is: you need to break the rules if you want to success. Do you want to, do you agree with this statement?
You need to break the rules.
You need to break the rules if you want to success. Do you agree
No,
with this
I
statement?
don't. No, I
Okay.
don't. If I had agreed with you by now, I'll have been maybe by now. What's okay? I'll have been a billionaire in rupees, in dollars, in naira, in whatever, in yen. If I wanted to break the rules, I don't agree with it completely. I believe work within your space. Be content with what you have. I've never agreed to breaking the rules because if I wanted, like I told you, I've had opportunity. I'll have become a billionaire in rupees. I'll have become a billionaire in naira. I'll have become a billionaire in pounds and dollars. I don't never agree to break the rules. I never want to do that. No, it's way off. It's not my person. I don't understand that, and I can't function in that realm.
It's really nice. Okay, this is your last question for today show. What's the one things you wish you knew before starting your business?
What is the one thing? I don't think there's anything I wish I knew. I don't think because I don't think I can't. No, to be honest, nothing. I think I knew what I wanted. I already knew that if I want something, people might not come for it. They might promise, they might not fulfill. So nothing took me unawares really. Nothing, nothing took me unawares. I was ready. Nothing took me unawares. Everything that's happening now, I knew will happen. I was just praying for it not to. I was just praying for a way out. That's all. I've just been praying for a way out. I always knew the challenges would be there. I just praying for a way out. I was praying for when will it end? When will I have all these things put together? When will all this struggle yield? When will I now finally have a payoff from all this hard work? That's all. But nothing, everything happened. I already knew. There's nothing that I wasn't taken by surprise by anything. No, nothing.
Nice. Okay. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Chijioke Nnanna Ibeku for being our guest for today at Conversation with Consultants. Your presence and engagement helped to make this event successful. Thank you for providing insights into your exciting journey. Further, we would also like to thank our audience for listening patiently throughout the event. Thank you everyone for joining with us and today and hope that everyone gains some knowledge from this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that our next episode 71 of Conversation with Consultants will be soon. We hope to see you all there. Thank you and we look forward to reconnecting with you again. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us all social media handles to stay connected with us. Goodbye and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope your friend is much better now. She was ill the last time. I hope she's getting
Thank,
better.
yes, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for having me. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.